Doesn't it feel weird when you do a job well done, but it wasn't actually the job you usually do? Well, hey everybody, it's Last Robokai here, and welcome to another intermission episode of Dishonored and the High Chaos run, in which the bodies hit the floor, turn to ash, and so we let more hit the floor. It's weird. We didn't kill Rasputin, and now we're delivering him to the conspirators so that we can solve a mystery. And that mystery is how the hell the High Regent is actually funding his city guards, because he was the spy master, and last I checked, that doesn't actually have a whole lot of nobility attached to it and a whole lot of cash attached to it. So he's either extorting the hell out of someone, or, as we're going to find out, he's got himself a sugar mama. And we are going to definitely figure out which place we're going to be going to stab up next. So let's just straight right in. Yeah, that's got to be comfy as anything, hasn't it?
They set up the cell for Sokolov in the old kennel. Shackles and everything. It'll be a shock, him waking up in the straw and old dog poop. But from what I hear, he's woken up worse places. Guess we all have at that.
Some odd parties. Looks like someone's been really looking forward to seeing our return with our bearded friend Sokolov.
Well done, Kovo. Well done. I doubt a dozen soldiers could have done it better.
We killed over a dozen soldiers.
Enable us to strike at the Lord Regent directly, and ultimately help you get your life back. Soon, we won't have to hide in the shadows. The royal physician is brilliant, but he was a fool to protect the Lord Regent. Sokolov gave us the elixir, the war machine. He could have made us a great nation. Now he pays the price for siding with a tyrant. You have my thanks, sir. If you wish to get some sleep, now is a good time.
Let's make sure we go say good night to little
They
Emily.
don't have to hurt him. He's done some good in his time.
Samuel, you're drifting away. Oh well, whatever.
Don't worry. We won't start the interrogation without you.
Yeah, everyone gets to go have a nap, and then tomorrow we'll figure all that nonsense out. But before we do that, obviously, gotta go say, hi to Emily, and also just, make sure we've got everything we could ever want. Oh, and I wonder how Piero feels about us dragging in his chief rival.
I'm working on a new arc pylon. It will perform absolutely stunning acts of destruction, I expect. Normally, I'm a natural philosopher, but today, consider me a humble craftsman here to serve.
Yes, and of course, one of the most important things we get is the upgrade that'll just let us walk a little quieter. Which is very handy, so we'll just throw all of our money at that, and hopefully that problem where I jump down and come immediately out of crouch will not be quite as bad as it was before. Not quite sure what to do with myself at this point. Got a little bit of money left, enough for maybe, one more upgrade. And we're going for more pistol. More pistol upgrades, and yeah. Not entirely sure about that upgrade thing. I'm not sure it's entirely necessary, but I guess I do whiff a few. I just usually think that's because I'm incompetent. Something on the radio there. Just I really have to stop looking at the same stuff over and over again, but it's very hard to tell what's new and what isn't.
Logic is flawed, anyone can see that. And not an original idea to be heard. His notes are a mess if he even keeps them. How he got this far is anyone's guess. He says what they want to hear. Friend of the rich, that's his method. Sokolov's true genius is pampering the aristocracy. Fools.
Still no love lost between them. Apparently, Like, I always had the impression that Piero was not really even on Sokolov's personal radar, but when he suggested that we were there, when Sokolov suggested we were there to assassinate him on Piero's behalf, that was actually kind of interesting. More important than perhaps both of us realized.
A serious offense, and will be summarily punished by officers of the Watch. Display your pride in Dunwall by respecting the property and rights of others in these trying times, and preserving the timeless beauty of our fair city.
Yeah, our beautiful, fair, rat-infested, zombie-ridden plague city. That's my favorite, absolutely worst maid ever.
Can I tell you something?
You
I
absolutely
have a
can.
secret retreat nearby that may come in handy if the city watch ever kicks in the doors. It's an abandoned apartment across the street from the bar. I don't think anyone else here knows about it, but I'm guessing I can trust you. The key is stashed under my bunk upstairs. If there's ever trouble, you can go there for safety. I know I will.
She may not be much of a maid, at least by the standards of all of Mr. Pendleton's stuff, but yeah, she's got probably a wiser idea than most of them do. You don't really want to be caught with nowhere to go, or, you know, hoping that the water is your escape when the City Watch comes rolling in. So, it's a good chance for us to go get it. I think it's probably the best chance to get it. Because there's actually a bone charm in there.
Lord Pendleton Memoirs, Chapter 41, in which I bed 2 of the Boyle women, and only missed the 3rd by virtue of some inclement weather. It was the month of rain, and to counter the gloom, the Boyle ladies hosted 3 nights of merriment by invitation only. Lydia was most fetching in lavender pants and a tunic of yellow silk. She was pleased with me from the moment I walked in the door, with my manservant bringing not 1 but 2 cases of effervescent wine from the south. In fact, I had come laden with gifts, such that all 3 Boyle women soon took notice, and they set out to make me more than welcome. We uncorked the wine right away, and as night fell, we... Wallace! Confound these interruptions.
Let me just talk about the time I totally macked on ladies by throwing money at them to the point that they probably thought that if I just kept throwing money at them,
At the moment of her mother's
they would sleep
murder,
with me.
anyone with information leading to the location or return
That sentence
of
probably
the
didn't make a
daughter
whole
of
lot of
our
sense
beloved
because,
Lady Empress is
unlike Cool
required
Guy, I'm
to
not
be
shooting
at
that
watch
goddamn mic piece. Goddamn. Oh yeah, and there you go. Now that we've offed the 2 annoying Pendletons, we're now causing the Lord Regent a whole lot of trouble. He hasn't got his votes anymore, so he's got a mistress instead who's funding him.
Badly shaken up. I'll have the servants see to his new quarters. Take a night's rest, and then you can help interrogate him.
Havelock's got some new thoughts as well. He's he's getting some interesting ideas. Seems to think if you get Piero and Sokolov to actually, you know, be on the same side, that the city would benefit. In particular, he would benefit.
Brothers. I'm sure you understand.
Yeah, well, judging by the amount of bottles under the bed, I think, yeah, okay, thanks, Lydia. That's a fantastic little bit of information you've added for the conversations there.
Yes, Mr. Corvo. I'll make sure your quarters are clean, sir.
You'll probably just knock everything over. Don't touch the gigantic mess of bone charms along the way, Cecilia. I know you're an absolute futzklutz. She's terrible. She's the worst maid. But she has got some pretty nice stuff in here. Get some hemlock, more wine, and albinos. Had to happen eventually. I'm shaking my head.
Stay out of uninhabited buildings.
Talk about useless. I'm just really digging that portrait. Don't know why. Also trying to see if just make sure I haven't got anything squirreled away in an extremely difficult to physics location. Place always gives me serious Half-Life 2 vibes, which is fine. You know, the whole concept of the giant steel walls sort of pushing up out of the ground, that sort of thing. Half-Life 2 is a very interesting dystopian environment that a lot of other games really just aren't quite as good. I'm not sure why that's there. But Dishonored, especially with the walkers, the tall men, it captures it pretty well, I think. Yeah, I've still got one last place to visit, you know, because I've been bumming around like a goon all over the place. So we gotta get over there, and we gotta.
And then they're singing the old songs, linking arms. But that was from a happy time.
So happy.
She clings to her childhood things, but they bring her only brief comfort.
Please be as quiet as you can. It took forever for Emily to fall asleep.
Maybe if you put her in some bedclothes and gave her a blanket and a pillow.
It's okay, Emily, I'm here. She seems happier when you're here. Though I know you have important things to do. Out there, in the city.
Well, city doesn't murder itself. I'd be out of a job if they could do that.
There's hardly a need to work on table etiquette. She knows it all, even if she chooses not to employ it. She'd rather hold her spoon by the wrong end and pretend it's a sword. Then suddenly she changes and she's all manners, asking for a tea party. I tried to oblige her, but I have little to work with. No proper plates. Instead of a cloth napkin, I've only the bar rack. Ale mugs instead of teacups. I've asked for things befitting her, but they have their minds on other things. For now, Emily and I decided to make a pretend dinner using paper and little things she's found here and there. On the floor, I suppose. Not right for a princess, but it'll have to do.
Yes, it doesn't seem like everyone has Emily in, you know, her best interests in their minds at the moment. Getting a little bit drunk on the idea that we could actually pull this shit off. They were probably only imagining that they were going to get themselves right and proper murdered by the City Watch. But good news, everybody, we're actually succeeding. Yeah, I'm not picking up any of that. Leave it alone. Time to slip. The next morning...
Corvo, wake up! You were making funny faces while you were sleeping.
Oh yeah, you were waving around like a monkey.
I decided to nap here in your room while Callista was taking her bath. She told me if there's ever trouble, I should always run here.
Okay, but if there is really trouble, I'll be in Cecilia's room.
Get me when she's done with her bath. Thanks, Corvo. It makes me feel better.
Although, to be perfectly honest, you know, generally speaking, if I were Corvo, I would feel a lot safer, or a lot happier knowing Emily was, you know, as safe as she could be with the person who could be as safe as they could be.
A good night's sleep has left him with an appetite.
Oh boy. Well, I can't wait to hear his loud, long-winded ramblings. It's actually a pretty cool sort of thing that we're going through now because, well, our buddy Sokolov, he has actually got one of the few sort of instances where... Wait, what? Piero? Really? Dude, just lock yourself out. Yeah, no, it's cool. You know, I'm just invading your space. He's not actually in here. He's probably actually on the roof right now, working on his own little lightning device.
What will I say when Sokolov has passed at his funeral? Something like this, perhaps. Sokolov is dead. Gone forever. We were rivals at the academy, yes. He was jealous of my agile brain and youthful energies. But he's dead now. And what can I say about him? Sokolov, he did improve on some inventions. He did well for himself in his way. He had many admirers among the aristocracy, especially those who lack a solid background in matters of natural philosophy. He was a painter of portraits. They say his work was genius. That remains to be seen. Time will tell.
And that's what makes him so... Oh no, he's not on the roof. I actually came up here and checked. I didn't think I was smart enough to do that. No, like, Pierrot's just vanished. I'm like, maybe he's on the other roof? No, it's okay. Past me. Let it go. Let it go. Stop chasing Phantom Pierrots, and let's just go. What was I trying to be telling everybody? Yeah, I was trying to tell everybody that that Sokolov is actually one of the few sort of high-low chaos decisions that you can make in between missions. Since you didn't get to choose whether or not you violently murdered him or did something silly to him, well, they're gonna give us a choice to do something similar now. Yeah, no, awaiting you, Mr. Lord Pendleton.
I hope Sokolov will cooperate. I'd hope to have him paint my portrait again one day. Just me this time.
Yeah, maybe he'll put your name on it next time. That would be nice, wouldn't it?
Royal physician, I believe you and Corvo knew each other in former days. Unlike you, our friend Corvo knows what loyalty means.
You're mature, Corvo.
I am loyal to my inner spirit.
And his whiskey spirit.
Sorting with the most wanted man in the Empire.
It's my belief that Corvo was innocent in the death of the Empress.
So read that book about hounds.
The Spymaster, or the Lord Regent, as he calls himself, is a ruthless tyrant bent on destroying the city, the heart of the Empire.
You are mistaken if you think there's love between me and our Lord Regent. But whatever you intend to do here, I assure you, I am beyond petty scare tactics.
If I don't scare you, Sokolov, perhaps these rats will. Even if they don't carry plague. I've heard of a swarm of rats stripping a child's body to the bone in half a minute.
I didn't do that.
I've heard worse. How long do you think it'll be before you talk? Before you beg to talk?
Rats? Is that the company you keep now, Admiral?
It's the company you keep that interests us so far. We know you painted a portrait of the Lord Regent's mistress, the very aristocrat who is funding the military with her fortune. She is the key to the Lord Regent's control over the city, and we must have her name.
Sorry, Admiral. I cannot help you.
Okay, here we go. So how to train your Blackie. That's good. No, that'll not come in handy at all, but you know, it could come in handy if you have a Blackie in your life. Let's just go, because we couldn't really get in here before, though. Although I believe there's actually someone mentioned in the thread there's a key that you can get a lot earlier to go in here. I don't know. What's really important though is that there's stuff to loot now, and looting now is a very important thing to do. Hell of a cell, but it was used to keep, you know, fighting dogs, so no big shock there.
The doom of Panacea has come to the city. Anton Sokolov, he knew me once, and did much to set me on my path.
Interesting.
Yes, Sokolov's a foreigner. The looks and manner of a Tibetan swiner. But he is also a great genius. Not all his knowledge was gleaned from academic books. Some is gained from the maidservants he beds.
You're part of this rabble, but I know you have your reasons.
Yes, he does. All we need is the name of the Lord Regent's mistress. It's very simple.
I elect not to tell you. You will have to force the words from me, and I warn you, my willpower is quite legendary.
Of course, your decisions are release the rats, or go get him something to drink.
Sorry, Sokolov.
No, not rats. Stop! Stop! I will tell you what you need to know. I'm obliged to safeguard Dunwall's greatest intellectual asset. I can only tell you so much. I was not permitted to see her face or hear her full name. She called herself Lady Boyle. You see, I painted her from behind. I assure you, she still makes a striking portrait, but I do not know which Boyle she is. I was to be introduced to her at a masked ball in her honor this very night. But I will miss that party, it seems.
A masked ball at the Boyle estate. Tonight? The timing is perfect, Corvo. But the Boyles are wealthy and ruthless, so security will be very tight.
Of course, you already have a mask, don't you, Corvo?
Yes, you will be able to mingle with them once you're on the grounds. You'll have to find out which of the Boyle women is connected to the Lord Regent, and take her out whatever way you can devise. We're very close now. Corvo, if you do this tonight, we'll be able to strike at the Lord Regent himself and put Emily on the throne. May the wind favor you.
So, we've had a little bit of foreshadowing about the Boyles by this point. The art dealer had an invitation of his own that could get us in, which we have. And Lord Pendleton was talking about how he's had the shags with 2 of 3 of them. It's get very boring in the Boyle estate. Obviously, it does get very boring because they have a lot of parties, and that's what we're going to be doing. Is going to a party. Yeah, that would have been worth the effort if I hadn't already read that book probably about 5 times somewhere else. Cool Guy, of course, will be showing what happens if you do the rest of it.
To the Boyles' little bash tonight.
How would you stop drinking?
I have just a tiny favor I'd like to ask you. Could you give this note to Lord Shaw? You'll know him. A rather brusque man wearing a wolf's mask. In fact, he may be looking for me.
Side quest!
I knew Sokolov would see reason and tell us what we need to know. He never actually liked the Lord Regent.
Not much to like about the Lord Regent, to be honest.
Have you ever been in a sea battle?
Of course.
Did you ever see pirates? And did you sink any?
Of course. Dozens. Oh, yes. But that's not for young girls to hear about.
But I will be Empress, won't I? And then I'll have to sink lots of enemy ships myself. And that's what Empresses do mostly, isn't it?
Of course.
I knew it! I read that some pirate ships have witches aboard that can cause storms and make whales do what they want. Is that true?
Yes. Mostly. Maybe we should be quiet now.
Very well.
Admiral's not so good with kids. I like Emily. Emily's a bit...
Masked ball. You have the most clever mask of them all.
Yeah, I have the mask everybody's seen and is plastered across all the wanted posters, which actually is the best mask to take there because no one would actually expect the real assassin to be ballsy enough to turn up wearing the most obvious mask to a ball. It ties into one of my favorite stories involving a masked ball, but we'll get into that in the main episode.
The Boyle costume ball, huh?
And we'll see you all next time. I've been the Last Rope, okay? And, well, let's go crash a party.